I gotta ask you about Quickie though. Like, where was the first moment where you're like, this guy has it? Because you've seen him from when he was drafted to trade, right?
Yeah, like when I got there, we'd already drafted Quickie, and so I went and saw him in college, and he comes out, hat crooked, big chew in his mouth, and just just happy to be alive, and when his first year pro, there was some ups and downs, but he was just in the East Coast League in Reading. He was just a gamer. And Carl Taylor was the coach down there, and he said he thinks there was nights that he'd let in a goal just so it would go to a shootout or overtime and stuff, just so he could make some saves. But Quickie was just always the gamer, and I could relate to him from the athletic standpoint, but I also understood that it's a really hard way to play the game, and so we just started working on just getting him a little bit more structured and whenever he needed that athletic ability to let it come out. So it was a real fun process, kind of growing up with him. And I was growing up as a goalie coach, and he was growing up as a professional goalie. So it was a really amazing experience. And just keeps coming back to this city, man. Like when I found out in Winnipeg here, when he got traded, it was tough. It might have been one of the toughest days of my time with the LA Kings.
Well, as we said, it's show business, not show friends, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. When I talk to a lot of musical bands, I'll use Jack White as an example. I asked him the question. I said, if you could give yourself any advice when you were first breaking into the industry, what would it be? And I think it's a little different for you because you get to do that with all these fresh faces that are coming in. But if I asked you that question, would it be the same thing that you're telling these kids now, or would you give young Bill Ranford a different set of advice?
The only thing I would say, I think, is what I said earlier, is I wish I would have had just a little bit more fun.
But I don't know. It looked like you were having a lot of fun, man.
Just wasn't really in my DNA. I'm so competitive. I'm still to this day.
That's the military upbringing, right?
No, just that's me. That's me. I like it. You put a racket in my hand, you put a bat in my hand. I played all sports growing up, and I was just ultra competitive, and I still am to this day. My kids make fun of me. Like, the latest is I was that way playing tennis with my father-in-law, and then now the pickleball with the kids. The son-in-laws are much younger and much more fit than I am, but I am still competitive as can be against them, and that's just the way I am.
Well, that's one thing that we've talked about a lot on this podcast is one thing we're not seeing in this day and age with young athletes is cross-training. You said you played every sport growing up. In the summertime you played baseball, and you get hungry to get back on the ice. Where now it's just 12 months out of the year.
I think that it's too much what guys do now. I've always said that. I did a kind of a talk with parents last year at what do they call it, Tendy Fest that they do across Canada. So In Goal magazine brought me out, and I did a talk, and probably might have pissed off a few people, but I believe it. Like you have to do. I am the goal. I was the goalie that I was because I played baseball, and the hand-eye coordination that I picked up of catching a baseball and hitting a baseball was a big part of it. I played a ton of badminton in military. A lot of the military guys from Quebec played badminton. So when I was in Portage la Prairie, I took up when I was a Bantam age. I played badminton on the military base like 3-4 times a week.
Do you have any shuttlecock jokes in the locker room?
No. I didn't know that's what it was called. It was a birdie when I played. But
hey, more hockey content. It might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?